Hi ladies, and welcome to July's online class. Well, this class is featuring our blend pens. So some of you might have used these before, but I'm just going to show you a couple of ideas that you can use with our blend pens. But when we're using our blend pens, we must use our Memento ink if we're colouring in. So I'll explain that as we go through. So first off, we're going to be doing this card, and it's about colouring and shading. It's quite difficult to see the shading bits in this card, but as you use different ones and it dries out, you will see the different shades. And when you add lots of different colours, the shading really shows out. But I just wanted to stick with one set of coloured pens so the expense wasn't so great to you. So for the first card, I'm using Free as a Bird, and I'm really only using the leaves and this little flower here. And in your kits, you will receive the cutouts and embossing. So you'll get your cardstock, you'll get a little embossed piece of paper, you will get your cutout rectangle, and that's just, I've just coloured those in to make it quicker for you so the video is not so long. So I'll just put these aside and we'll get started. So it's just the plain basic card, just folding it in half and burnishing. So then you'll get your insert and your front cover. So we're going to work on our first layer. So I'm using Smoky Slate in this card, and Old Olive. Our Memento Black, so we can do our colouring, and just the wording in Memento Black as well. So first off, we're just going to just do a background really, so it doesn't look so plain. So you can just you can either stamp off and do, oh, that wasn't a very good start, we'll flip that, lucky we've got two sides. I've stamped off and just made it a little bit lighter because the Smoky Slate is still quite dark. Just around the edge. There's no right or wrong. I think we need one up the top. That will do. I haven't done the middle because it's going to be covered up anyway. So we'll put that aside. And this is where our little band will just come in and go across here. So that will layer up like so. And now we're going to work on our middle section. So this is just the lovely rectangle. These are our rectangle dies, so you've got multiples of rectangle dies here. This one's called Scallop Contour dies. So there's lots and lots in there, and you've got a lovely scalloped edge as well. So that's a good value for money framelit. So I just need to clean that off. So now we're just going to start on the front. So I've used the leaves, and it's just, doesn't matter where they go really, just one up each end like so. And now with our little flower, we're going to use our Memento Black ink, and I'm just going to stamp one here and one up here. So now we just need that to dry for a little bit, because if you go and colour in straight away, it will actually smudge. So when you're doing yours, just stamp your flowers and then just give it, you know, say 5 minutes. Don't do it straight away. I'm going to be doing mine just to show you, but so I just want, you're going to cover up, see how I've gone over here a little bit, that's okay because we're going to cover this up. So now with our pens, we have a pointy and a brush end. I don't use the brush end a lot because you can actually, I'll just pull it apart. You can actually bend the tip. And I'd suggest that you use them on your side. I mainly use the pointy end, but I'll just work through that. I have cracked this one. Don't know how, so that's why it's a little bit loose. So what I'm going to do is use my lightest one first. So you'll get them in pairs, and there's a light and a dark. So I'm going to use my light one first, and I'm just going to do it in a circular motion and colour the whole flower. So it doesn't have to be perfect because I can't colour to save myself really. That's why I stamp. There's some very talented people out there that can colour beautifully. So you just colour around. So if you're using the brush end, it is a lot quicker. But you don't want to go right to the edge with the lines because the ink does actually bleed a little bit. So if you don't get to the edge of the lines, don't worry about that because it will bleed and run a little bit further as it dries out. So now that's only rough, but that's okay. Now we're going to use our darker one. And where it's got the lines on our card, we're just going to add a little bit of the darker one in. Doesn't have to be pretty, just add it in. I just like to do those tips up here as well. It's up to you. If you're an artist, you'll know where to add the dark and the light. Just add a bit on the flowers. So you don't have to take super amount of care where you're putting your light and your dark. So once you've got that, you can see it looks a bit, you think, oh well, it looks a bit smudgy. But that's okay, you bring back your light one. And you're just going to do a circular motion and go over the whole lot. And that just blends the dark into the light areas. I've just done a class on the weekend with a lot of my fellow Stampin' Up demonstrators, and we did a bit of blending with these, and it was so much fun. I'll get a card and show you what we did with a totally different sort of card in a minute. So that will just dry. You can see that you've got your little bits of dark and light. So you're just going to let that dry, and we're going to add our dimensional to this one. See how the inks come through on the other? They say that is good colouring. They want it to come through. So when you're colouring, make sure you've got your paper on your table. So we're just going to add this one here, just to bring it up. And then I'm just going to add the little thank you. All I did was stamp this little thank you out and cut around it with my snips. So I'm just going to add that down the side. Now on this one, you can see that we've got our Diamantes. So I've just got my clear pack of Diamantes, and these are really great for colouring our Diamantes as well. Don't push hard. This is the brush end I am using this time. Don't push hard. Just go around your colouring and then they're done. I'm going to do a few of these because we're going to put them on all the other cards as well. So so you can see they're all the green ones I've done as well. So when you've got rhinestones and you want them exactly to your colour of your project, you just bring out your blender pens. So we'll just assemble the card now. I'll just give them a minute to dry. We'll just add we'll have to stamp our insert in our envelope as well. The glue, I think the glue is great when you're using embossing, when you've embossed your cardstock, it just seems to adhere a lot better, just about in the middle. It's no right or wrong. You can put it lower or higher, whatever you like. I'm just going to add dimensionals to pop this up. And you can see the colouring come through there. And now we'll just add our little dimensionals. Okay, we'll stamp our insert in our envelope. You can do whatever you like. I'm just making this quick for the video. I'll just do a couple of leaves. You could do a lovely flower and colour that in as well. And I've got a mess already. Only just started. And I think that one's getting empty. Just add the insert. So that's your first card. Very simple. And as I'm getting ready for the next one, I'll grab those other couple of cards I was talking about that I did on the weekend just to show you the blending. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Bye. Okay, ladies, welcome back. So here's this gorgeous little card I make on the weekend. So the actual colouring of this turtle is done exactly how I've just done those flowers, with a light and dark. This one is the stamp on over the top, but you can just see how the shading is. These are also a sneak peek from that will be coming in the future. So you can just see the shading as well here and on these tiny little turtles. So once you start colouring with the pens, it's a lot of fun. Okay, our next card. So this is how we're going to be using our pens to do this background for this one. Lots of different ways that you can do it. I'll just show you a couple. They're simple and it just makes a great background. It's very easy. So what you will need though, I hope you've gone out and purchased this alcohol. It's 100% alcohol. It's not the green crocodile one that you can just buy at Coles and that. This, you go to Bunnings and you can get a smaller bottle which is about $10, which I recommend. I sent my husband to get this. Of course he bought the biggest, so I think this will last me a while. So what you're going to need is, it's like a little container, a little egg cup or something to put some alcohol in. You can either just tip it in. You only need a little bit. You can always add more. And you will need like one of your aqua painters, not with water in it, or you can just have a normal little paintbrush or something to apply it to, so you can pick it up and apply it to your project. Okay, so what you'll get in your kit is your cardstock to make your card. This is all white, so I've just cut it in the long way this time. you will get vellum and a backing of your Whisper White. I've just stamped out the sentiment already. You'll get your cardstock for your insert and also your top layer, and I've already embossed it, so you'll be able to emboss it with whatever you like. So I'll just put those aside so I don't get them dirty as well. And what we're going to work on, sorry, I'll show you the embossing folder I used is the Ornate Floral embossing folder. So what we're going to work on first is our piece of vellum. So I'll just put them aside, and all you're going to do is use your I'm going to put that one on tight this time. Use your vellum. We're going to use the paint in this time just to get a little bit of ink on, and all you're going to do is the light and dark, and we're just going to do colour little bits and spots all over your vellum. And then get the dark one, and we're going to fill it in. And we might have to add more as we work, but that's okay. So you can imagine when you've got a few of these colours how pretty this background can look. So what we're going to do then, I've already got ink all over me. We're going to pick up our aqua painter, whatever you have, and we're just going to add dots and drip it. If you have the old puffer from many moons ago that we used to put our Stampin' Up markers in to spritz, this is a good way that you can puff this around if you like to make it dry and to spread. Otherwise you could use a straw and huff and puff through that, or you can just keep splodging. So you're going to, so once you've got it to about where you think you might like it, I'm thinking that's probably okay. You're going to have to give it time. Oh, I've got a little bit down here. We don't want those. Just, you're going to have to give it a little time to dry. So while this is drying, I'll just pause the video and I will come back to you. Okay, ladies, it's dried off a little bit. So you can see with this one, I put quite a lot of the alcohol on, and it's sort of, I mean, it still looks really good, but I think I might try and add a little bit more colour here. This is the darker one I'm using, and a little bit more of the lighter one. And I'm not going to use as much alcohol this time, just a little bit to give it that little run. So you can see how you can come back in and just add a little bit more texture if you wish. Totally up to you how you like it. So we'll just give that time. I might just add a little bit more in here. And that just makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm just going to use this to dry it off a little bit to speed things up. So it's still a little bit wet, but what you're going to do is use the other side and you're going to put it down on your Whisper White. So how I do that without leaving too much of a mark is to bring in your silicone mat, your Tombow, and have a spare little paintbrush. And we're going to just add a bit of glue to our silicone mat. And I'm just mix it up here, and I'm just going to paint it on to my Whisper White piece. Just paint down the sides. Just blend it out. I don't do it all over, I just do it around the edges. And then we're just going to add this on here. And that just stops the marks of the glue giving you watery colouring marks, and works excellent. So that's for any sort of vellum. If you're just using your plain vellum, do exactly the same. And that's a great way of adding it on. You'll have to wash your brush out, but we're going to be using that again. So I'll just put it aside. And it's a bit of a sticky mess to wash it out, but that's okay. So I'll bring in the rest of the card. Put that aside a bit to give us a bit more room. And all I've done is this card this way. I hope the ink doesn't come off my hands. That's the only trouble when you're using white. And we'll layer up this with our Tombow. It's a gorgeous embossing folder, this one. Now I'm just going to bring in some white ribbon, just you'll get the ribbon in your kit. Doesn't want to stay there. And just do a little bow. If you've got spools of ribbon at home, I never cut it off. I just use it straight from the spool, and then you don't waste as much. I need my good scissors. Oh, doesn't want to come up. And just cut off. And our wording, I've just stamped this out. Friendship refresh the soul. Oops. Reaching across my work, it doesn't want to. Just fit that in under there. Hang on, I'll just move my ribbon across a fraction. That's it. So you can see these are very simple cards, but they're very effective. Just add it to the centre. So just those little extra blotches just put a nice show to the background. And we're going to add some diamantes. I hadn't on mine, but I just think some diamantes always look pretty. And how simple is that? So you can imagine with lots of different colours on your background instead of just the one. This is Poppy Parade. It will look even more effective. So that's your second card, and we'll be back in a minute with your third. Okay ladies, back for our third one. So our next two cards are focusing on this stamp set and the dies. So Beauty of Friendship and our dies. So the bundle is Beauty of Friendship bundle. So that's in the new catalogue, and I'll just show you where it is. Here you can see all the trees and the stamps and the dies here. The DSP is actually designed so you can actually just use your dies and cut out, and you've got a beautiful tree with no stamping, no nothing. You've got trees already done, and they look really amazing. But in your kit I will have done all the dies for you. So in this one you will get your lovely cut out tree like so, and it will have the adhesive all on the back so that you can actually use it. And it's just giving you another go at this great background. So I'll put that aside. Then we'll get our vellum. So you'll get your die, your cut out for your wording, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to, I can't stamp those for you, but you might want, thinking of you, you can put whatever you like on. You get your cardstock and your layering pieces as well in your envelope. So we'll do the card. Just makes my work area a little bit less congested. And we have got our insert that I've just stamped the little blotches out of the stamp set on there, and I've matched that with the envelope. So that's those pieces we can put aside for the minute. This is our layering piece that we won't need at the minute, and we're going to work on our vellum once again. So it's exactly the same, but I'm just going to run through it with you again so you get to know. And this time I'm probably not going to use as much alcohol, just to see if we can get a little bit different effect. You're still just going to colour wherever you want. There's no right or wrong, but just colour on the side of your brush side, so you're not wrecking your point in case you're going to need it sometime down the track. Always make sure you push your lids back on, because these are alcohol blends and they will dry out much quicker than others. If you're not confident in colouring the whole lot, just colour a little bit and then go through as you can. So this time I'm not going to use as much, and just see whether we get a bit different. You can also like ink it up. Oh, sorry, get your alcohol on your blend, and you can just splatter and see how you go as well. So there's no right or wrong way. So that's just making the alcohol go a lot further, and you get a lot more dots. You can just see how that goes. Tiny little, fill these in. I haven't added any more alcohol to my pen. You can just, if you've got a blower and you want to use it, just helps dry off, or can push it around a bit. And I sort of think, well, there's a lot of spare spots in there. I'm just going to fill in. And I'll get the darker one as well. And I'll just try this again. and you can add a bit just on these thicker bits. So as you know, every one will work out a little bit different. And even if, see how this one's bigger here, if you don't like that, you can actually colour in that again and go again with your alcohol and your blends. Just bringing that out to the edge. I think that will do. And this one's totally different to the first. Just pick that up. It's drying a bit quicker than the first too because I haven't used half as much. So I'm going to tip that over and put it up against the white, and you can see how effective that is. And that's totally different. I'll bring my tree in to this one again because I've used more alcohol on that one. So you can see how much difference you can make them and play around with them. So we'll bring in our silicone mat again and a bit more glue. Bring in your white and just paint it on. You don't want big blotches, you just want to paint it on, get it smooth. This just washes off your silicone mat. Put that aside. You can allow a little bit more time for yours to dry. Doesn't want to get on that corner for me. And there you go, you can't see where those brush and glue marks are. Just get rid of the glue off there, bring in the card and finish it off. So we'll just add the insert. I don't think I did that on the other one. Now we're going to do our layering. You can emboss this if you like at home, that's no worries. I'm just leaving it plain. And then we're going to layer this. Well, some of you might have different colours, depends what pens you've got. Going to bring in our ribbon and our die. Oh, can't pick it up. So you have your die cut out. Just got a bit of the backing on there. So you're just going to peel it off, peel that sticky backing protective piece off. This is so good, these sticky sheets, especially for these fine dies. So that's just like a sticker now, and we'll just stick it on. Just going to add some ribbon, just like before. This is lovely soft ribbon as well. And don't forget, you can actually colour this ribbon with your blends as well. just do a little bit here for you. Where's the brush end? And you can just run this along to colour the ribbon as well. So if you haven't got a ribbon that matches your project, you can use this white, and you've got the colour to match exactly. So they're great for lots of different ideas. Now we're going to add this onto the front. I'm just going to add it with glue. I'm not going to dimensional this one up. Make it straight. Add that. And then I'm going to dimensional, use the little ones this time, the actual wording on. So don't forget you can get the minis or the standard size dimensionals. And we'll just add that. So just a little bit on your envelope, and that's your next card. So it looks fabulous with that background. You could make it stormy. You could use your blues and greens to make it stormy in behind the tree, but I just thought these were great colours, so you can actually see that stand out. Okay, I'll be back with our last card in a minute. Welcome back, ladies. Well, this is our last card. Now I'm going to go very slow with this one because it's just a little bit more complicated. The front's the same and using the blender pen's the same, but I just thought I would add a little bit of interest to this card for you. So it's virtually the same on the front with using our blend. So I'm going to do a different colorway just for the sample. So it just shows you the different colors you're going to do. But inside, you've got the lovely pop-up. So I'll put it that way as you can see. You could hang things down in here if you want, but I've just made the decorative on the side, just added the tree in. So it just gives you a little bit more interest as well as doing the same front. Okay, sorry girls. So it is an odd shaped card. I'm not exactly sure what the measurements are. It is a 5" by 5 3/4, so it doesn't fit in a normal envelope. So if you have the old retired envelope punch board, drag that out because we're going to be making our envelope as well. But if you haven't, I will also be sending you the it'll be all scored for you as well, so you'll get the DSP and everything to make your envelope as well. Okay, so we'll just put that aside. So we're using, I'm going to do it in Bermuda Bay for you, but just a couple of framelits that I'm using is the Beauty Dies trees with the trees and the little birds, etc. And also the Ornate Layers dies. So it's actually, this one I've used, but I've just cut down the side to get that, and you will get all that in your kit as well. You'll get all the dies, everything cut out for you. So I'll just put those aside and bring this in. This is the most difficult part, and that is our insert. So you will get in your kit, I've got so many bits here, you'll get your main piece of cardstock, and that'll be just folded in half. You will get some designer series paper, so that does the inside background as well. Everyone's will be a little bit different. You will get your piece of cardstock for the insert, and I'm going to be telling you how to cut that. So you will need your trimmer. You will get a piece of layering white that you can emboss for the front. I'll bring this in to show you. this piece here, and then you'll be getting your layering pieces, your black, your white, and the piece you're going to do your background piece on, and you'll get all your die bits as well that you're going to be sticking in. And you can just stamp whatever sentiment that you like, and we might have to colour a few more of these as well. So we'll just put that aside, and you'll also get your DSP for your envelope, and this is how it will come, like so. So I can fold it all up for you to fit in your package, and then you will just glue it all up. So you'll just glue, 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 and your card will fit in from the top. Okay, we'll put that aside and bring in this piece first. This is the most complicated piece. Sorry, I just had to get my trimmer. I couldn't quite reach it. So I might have to go this way to fit it in for you guys to see. So I'm just going to leave this piece here for a minute. So you might want to do a screenshot, because there's lots of different scoring and cutting on it. So the insert piece actually measures 9 3/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to be scoring at different places, and we're going to flip it as well. Okay, you've got a screenshot of that. So now we're going to get our cardstock. I might have to go this way, girls, to see it. I'm sorry. So don't forget, we're not going to use this right at the first. We're going to be using our scoring blade. So our first score is 3 3/8. Now don't forget, I work in inches. So 3 3/8. So we're going to score straight up and down. Then we're going to drag it through. I'll have to put this out and score at 7 5/8. So here's your 7 5/8. So we're going to go right up there. So just take your time. 7 5/8 and score. Okay, so now we're going to take it out and flip our page over, and we're going to bring it back to 6 1/8. Just measure it up, take your time and score. So that gives us our score lines. We just want this one to be able to bend this way, the other this way, and this way. So it's sort of a mountain valley way. Okay, so now we're going to turn it round. I can shut this arm a bit now. What we're going to do, it might be easier if you want to draw your pencil lines, because we're going to be 3/4 of an inch down. I've just drawn this piece in because we're going to cut this piece out, and it was just to show you that that bit we're going to cut out, and this little piece as well. So we're going to measure 3/4 of an inch down. So on your cutter you've got 3/4 of an inch over here. So if you line it up on your 3/4 of an inch, and then you're going to, if you want to do a pencil line, that's fine. You can draw in here and do your pencil line. But if you're going to cut, that's fine as well. So you're going to measure this line here on your cutting up with your score line. And it's 3/4 of an inch down. So you can push that down in here, and then on your little frame here, you've got 1 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to cut 1 3/4 of an inch here and stop. So if you're not sure on here, you can actually measure if you like. So it's at 5/8. So 1 3/4 inches, you're just going to, if you want to use a ruler, like so. Whoops, we need 1 3/4 inches is about, sorry, I'll get it here for you so you can see it. So 1 3/4 inches from that line, you can go down like this, and you're just going to go down to 5 1/8. And you need to do that top and bottom. So you're going to line up on your 3/4 of an inch line mark. So, but now you're down this end. So you're going to line up here on this, oh sorry, I'm out of the camera. So you've got your 3/4 of an inch here, line up here on your trimmer, and then get your cutting line here, your marking of your cutter, and line it up with your score line. So now we want to go up 3/4 of an inch. So if you've got a ruler, 1 3/4 of an inch, you can just put that beside, or you can draw it in. So here's your mark, and you're going to go up 1 3/4 and just stop. So lift that out, and now you can cut that piece out. So you just can line that up here, line that up here. So then you're lining up your mark again with your cut mark, and you're just going to cut right up and stop. So now we've got to cut along that score line exactly the same amount. So just line it up again. I can't quite see to get over it, and down and lift, and that little bit will pop out. So now we've got to do our next little one, which is just a tiny piece. So it's only a 3/4 of an inch wide and in the same area. So you're just going to do that again. So you line up here, 3/4 of an inch. So this time, am I in the camera? I'm out again. Sorry girls, I've got too much stuff here. Move this cutting up again for you. So you line up on your 3/4 of an inch. So this section here is going to be cut out, this section here. So you're 3/4 of an inch down, and it's just a 3/4 of an inch wide as well. So you're going to line up on that mark, and you're going to go back 3/4 of an inch. So if you want to bring your ruler in, or do your drawing again, so 3/4 of an inch, I've just lined it up with that 5, so 3/4 of an inch is back here. So we're just going to cut back 3/4 of an inch. And lift. So now we're going up the top 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to line it up with this score line again. So push down with your 3/4 of an inch, and you're going to come down this time 3/4 of an inch. You can line up again if you wish to do 3/4 of an inch. So line up with your 12, and you're going to come back to 11 1/4. and stop. Oh, sorry, I'm turning that around on you. I only want to turn my paper around. So now we're going to line our score line up, top and bottom, 3/4 of an inch down. Line it up with our cut marks and cut. And now we're going to do the same here. So line up our cut mark. This one might be a little bit longer. So you just want to line it up the top onto our cut mark. I'm only guessing because I can't quite get over the top with the camera there. And this little bit comes out. So that's the hard bit, girls. So once you've got that done, you'll be able to breathe easy. So you're just going to burnish all those little bits here. And that's your window to go inside your card. So that will fit in like so. So just go through it very, very slowly. Mark out the cuttings if you want to. It's easy with the trimmer, but if you feel that you want to cut it with scissors, you go right ahead, whatever's easiest for you. So your first score line is going to be 3 3/8. Your second score line you're going to do, the second one up here, is 7 5/8. Then you're going to flip your paper, and then you're going to measure 1/6 and 1/8, and that gives you your score lines. So once you've got those, then you can work out pretty easy which bits you're going to cut out. Okay. So now we're going to just decorate the inside first. We'll do this bit first, and then we'll go back and do our colouring. So we'll bring in our pieces that we will need. We'll need those. So all these are going to do is fit inside here. So we're just going to put them underneath, so, and that just gives it a little bit extra enhancing. So I'm just going to open this up and see what I've done. So all I did was put a little bit of glue down this little bit. I didn't even cut off the extras because I thought, well, no one's going to see it. So just put a little bit of glue down here. You use whatever you wish. I need to get the other hand. Now I just lined up the little dots. And then the same here for this one. I just put it on this side. So you can do a little bit of stamping on my stamp. All I've done is use this tiny little bit. You can use whatever stamp set you've got and whatever theme you're using. And I use Smoky Slate again. Oops, I need a little block. So there's no right or wrong, stamping. I just don't want that little bit to get on my... Okay. Oops. Got them all sticking everywhere now. And also in this stamp set there's the little bit of, well, you can use it as water or dirt or whatever you think it is. I've just used that under the tree. So you can see where I've just used this here under the tree here, just to give it a little bit, looks like it's dirt, but I'm just going to stamp this off a little bit because it's a very bright colour. I'm just using Bermuda Bay to go with the card. That will do, I say. I think I just re-inked that, it's quite juicy. So that's about all I need to do with the stamping on that. Up to you to put a sentiment. I'll let you put what you want. I'm using this as more of a sympathy card. So you will get your trees like this. Some of them might get a little bit extra. It's just that I didn't want to pull it off, because then some of the paper might have come off. So you just pull it off like so. And you place your tree down. It's a fabulous die. And once we put the insert in the card, we will put our little birds on as well. So we'll just set that aside for the minute, and we'll bring in our piece of background that we're going to be working on. So this time I'm going to use Bermuda Bay blend pens, exactly the same way again, but I just thought I would use a different colourway just to see what it looks like. I haven't done this, so I'm not sure how it's going to look as well, so it will be as interesting to me as you guys. So just colour in, and you can see how easy it really is to do. I changed my alcohol so there was no red, so I'll do a bit of tapping. There's not much alcohol on that. It's a bit hard with, I'll try and move it up with the white so you can see it a bit better. I think I need lots more colouring in there. I've left too many gaps. If you find that you've left gaps and have to add a bit, let it dry out a little bit. I'm just pushing the boundaries here a little bit. And just tap however you want to do it. I still think I need a little bit more in there. Just blow this to dry it off a little fraction. Just see what that looks like. I think that's enough. You could colour a lot more if you like, but I don't think that's too bad. So I'm just going to bring in silicone mat again and some glue. And paint. It's a bit sticky now, the old mat. Best bit about these, you can just wash them off. And a lot of it just peels off as well. So I've got that done. Flip it over. Line up those corners. Didn't do a very good job with that one, did I? So there's that. I'm a little bit out of plumb there, but that'll be okay. We'll get through. Okay, so now we'll head back to the front a little bit, and we're going to layer it up. See, it's easy now. You're on the home stretch. So we can layer up that piece. Layer up onto our black. And I've just added a little bit of this gorgeous ribbon. All you need is a small piece like so. I've hidden my scissors again. I'm just going to cut that and that. And I've just used a stapler and just stapled onto the basic black bit really there. And then I can't pick it up. I always get a mess around me. Layer that up. Peel off your next tree. And I've used dimensionals to put the sentiment on. Totally up to you. Now I've got all these little birds somewhere here. Just added one of these. Just use the mini dimensional. I think one fits in the middle, yep. And this one's on the opposite side because that's the one I picked up. So that's ready to go on to the front of our card. But we've just got to finish the insert. So go back and get all your little bits for your insert now. So all I've done, this has to fit in here like so, and we just want this to go in the background. Let's just give a little bit of interest. So you're just going to lay this down on your card about where you want it. I can't pick it up. So just measure it here and here, and it's about even over to the side. So I just held that there and worked out about where we need this. And fold, because you fold it, because it gets a little bit stiff here, and sometimes when you do these, they don't want to fold and close real great because it's an extra piece of paper in here. So once you've folded that, just take it out and give it a real good burnish, because you want that to fit in here very smoothly. So then I just lined it up like that. If you're a bit worried about it sticking up the top and the bottom, you could cut a little bit off, but I'm hoping that this will work. Just on one side, and then I'll do the other. Sometimes it doesn't quite. If I do that, then open it out. If you do that a couple of times, it will sit a little bit flatter. See how you can get this little gap? So open it out, then shut it again. So you're getting that flat. Even if you give that a couple of minutes to stick and then re-shut it. That's the hardest bit of the card, I think. I'll just let it sit there for a minute and let it dry and stick. And then it'll open. It won't open totally flat. No matter how many times I've done this, I can't get it to open totally flat. So I've just sort of left it. I think it's better to dry it as flat and then fold it. And that's pretty close to your line that you will get. Now we're going to insert our piece in here. So we do similar to this. We're just going to line it up here to get it even. And then we're going to add the glue here. And shut our card. Then we're just going to flip it over. Add our glue here. And fingers crossed, it's work, girls. There we go. So you might have a little bit of gap in here, but that's okay. So there's the mechanism of the card. I'll bring this back. So how pretty does that look in the Bermuda Bay? Quite pretty. And we'll just add our little birds. Doesn't matter where you want to add them. I've just added 3 or 4 in here. And the inside ones I've just used the glue. So we can add one here. Glue don't want to come out. add them wherever you like, really, it's up to you. And one for the tree. So that's that little card. So there's the two different colourways. So we might add a couple of these little stones as well. I'll just have to colour some Bermuda Bay ones. And I'll get a pair of scissors to add them. So they don't take long to dry. And there's just a little bit of bling on those as well. So you'll be able to colour them to whatever colour that you want. And there's that gorgeous little card. So I'll just run through, if you've got your own envelope maker, I'm sorry, but this is retired. So this piece of paper is 9 by 9. So we're looking down here, so the card's 5.5 by 5.5. So you cut your paper 9 by 9. So then your first scoring line is at 4.5. So if you've forgotten how to use that, so you're going to measure your first score line up with your 4.5, and you're just going to put your score in there and go down on that angle and push. So then the next one, you just line up. It's a bit hard with this paper, on your score line, and you score and punch, and you just go around that for the 4 sides. I just need to bend the paper to see where it is, and down, and last one, that, and score. So you can decide then which side you want, whether you want to use the orange. Just need to fold all these in. So up in this end piece you can actually put this, and that gives you the nice little round. You can round them all off if you like, but I just round the one. You make your card, make your envelope, and then you can pop your card in like so. It just fits nicely in there like that. So you will also get the DSP, and I will punch it all out for you. Well, ladies, we'll cut off short again. My phone had run out of space to put all the video on, so I just wanted to come back and show you. So you will get your DSP to make your envelope to fit your card. So that's the one we've just made, and this is the other one that most of you will be doing in the Poppy Parade colourway. And these are the other cards that we've just gone through. And I just wanted to show you a couple of extras that I've done in different colourways and added the gold gilding. So the gold gilding is just a very flaky, soft, I'll get some for you, very soft embellishment. That's gorgeous. And I've just put Tombow glue on a few different spots and just plonked it into my container and stuck it on, and then just rubbed it off with a sponge. And how gorgeous does that look with a bit of the gold gilding as well. And you can see that I've used lots of different colour pens. So the most important thing out of today with using the blender pens, no matter what colour you use, if you're stamping and colouring, you need to use your Memento black ink and just allow a couple of minutes for it to dry before you start colouring. And also when you're starting to use your alcohol. Just colour on the back of your vellum and not use too much, and just give it time to dry as well. And use the Tombow and your Tombow glue with your silica mat, so you haven't got blobby marks when you're sticking it onto your Whisper White cardstock. So I hope you enjoyed that. There's plenty of ways that you can still use your blender pens. Don't forget to colour your ribbon if you haven't got something that matches. And I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope you start to use your blend pens a little bit more, or if you haven't got any, even start to get some, because they're so much fun. Thank you, ladies, for joining me again this month, and I'll see you again next month. Bye for now. Bye.